But anyway.
What is wrong with him being minister?
Because it's a waste of time. He can't do anything there. He can't change anything. You cannot affect what's going on in the oil industry. It doesn't mean anything. If you want to change the country, you want to improve the country, you focus on education, you focus on agriculture. Economically, fundamentally, in the long run, education is the key.
You know, some will say, no, it has changed everything because subsidies has drastically reduced. The amount of money Nigeria is paying for subsidies, petroleum subsidy, has reduced as some of the refineries have started working. So it then means if all Nigerians who are experts in that field pull resources together, well, the government says he also understands a bit of that business, then we just might be out of the woods.
When the president was campaigning, we all agreed one thing, and we agreed on that even before. You need to diversify this economy, take away the focus from oil, economically go into agriculture. If you want to develop a country in the long run, that is why UNESCO suggests that 25% of your budget must go toward education. We're not doing it. We are not making any progress. And if this president and this administration is not doing things differently, then we should hold it accountable for the failure that we're beginning to see now.
Sorry, Doctor. I'm just wondering, though, the bulk of our revenue still comes from where? It still comes from...
And you rightly said that oil prices all over the world are going down.
I just asked a question. Sure. The bulk of our budget, funding for the budget, still comes from oil.
Sure.
You say that it doesn't make a difference if the president decides to directly oversee that particular ministry. Doesn't it make perfect sense that if the bulk of your revenue is still coming from a particular resource, you're able to judiciously manage whatever it is that is coming from there to manage the other ministries?
Sure. But
so why do you say it doesn't make sense?
Are you thinking of the future or thinking of the present?
If this is what is going to affect the future,
no,
doesn't
it's
it
not
make
affecting
sense?
the future. What's affecting the future, focus on oil is destroying Nigeria, okay? Focus on oil is what is setting us back.
A lot of people will agree with you that the focus or over-reliance on oil is destroying us.
Sure.
But then they would also lament the fact that we have not used or fully utilized the revenues that have accrued to us from oil. So if we now say we're at a disadvantage in terms of, you know, what is finally now coming in, shouldn't we pay more attention to how it is we're managing that particular resource, pending the time when we're able to fully diversify?
We should, pending the time. We cannot wait for that time. It's too late already. We need a president that is forward-looking. We can have a manager. It's not a manager of one department, okay? Because it's one-dimensional. Oil is not everything. I don't know what his obsession is with oil. When he was the oil minister, what did he achieve? When he was chairman of Petroleum Trust Fund, what did he achieve? He doesn't know anything about oil. He should go into something else. Leave a czar. Appoint somebody who is a specialist.
This is your opinion.
To take care of it. That's my opinion. Of course, I can only express my opinion.
Okay. Oh, well, I was just wondering, though, you talked about some people being tired because, you know, they've expended their brilliance during the elections. Is that what you meant or how you meant it?
Some of them. Some of them.
How does that work?
How does that work, exactly?
Some of them should, are there only as retirement benefit. That's what they get in this ministerial for. And the best of them is Raji Fashola in that whole list. And Raji Fashola himself has been indicted by his own people in Lagos State. So if Fashola is the best they have on the list, then I am really sorry for Nigeria.
Did you say indicted or the allegations?
Allegations.
So allegations can come from anywhere.
No, well, look. We're talking about reality on the ground. I'm saying it's the best they have. And
in
even
your
the
opinion?
best. In my opinion, of course, it's my opinion.
Yes,
Why keep saying my opinion? What else would I be saying?
I think it's very important to attach that part because sometimes when we say these things, people think that we have other empirical evidence, you know, which we're relying upon to say some of these things. It's not like
look at his achievement. Look at his achievement as a governor.
Just a moment.
The best.
It's not like I said they've written any aptitude test that he has come out the best. In your opinion, that's apparently the best.
Throughout his tenure, people came from all over the country to study what was going on in Lagos.
Who also participated?
Is that not true?
Who also participated in the elections but is not expended? I'm just trying to wonder how people can expend their brilliance in an election.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, Fashola is the best they have. He also was in the election. But as far as Mohammed was a propagandist and an attack dog, that's not what you need in government. Some people take part all over the world. Some people take part in election. After the election, they are retired. They are given other assignments, not upfront assignments such as this. What's Lai Mohammed going to tell us?
He's been the publicity secretary of the APC,
sure,
of the ACN, then the APC for a very long time.
This is not taxi.
And you seem to be commending the fact that he's done a very brilliant job.
He did a brilliant job in lying to Nigerians.
If you're asking
for that... He did a brilliant job with his propaganda of telling Nigerians that this presidency is the best we're going to have. What are we getting now? We are beginning to see that all throughout his propaganda
whether it was
lies.
Propaganda or it was a lie, people bought it.
Sure.
And they voted him.
You're going to buy lies now with him if he's made the Minister for Information.
If the president deems him fit.
You're going to have lies. Everything that we do, they're going to say, the country will be going down the drain. Lai Mohammed will painting it white and telling us all is well. That's what we're going to get. And that's why I think that such a person is not right now for the administration.
Let me bring this question to you, and I glean from what people are saying on social media. I mean, you talked about the fact that, yeah, they should have attached portfolios to the names, shouldn't hold on to the Ministry of Petroleum, the president shouldn't overtly focus or shouldn't focus on oil, and a lot of things which you think should not be done now because they were done wrongly at the time. And I assume that will be 16 years of the PDP rule. And one wonders, I mean, do you mean the PDP deliberately did what was wrong for 16 years?
It is not a question of deliberate. People don't go into government to deliberately do the wrong thing. All we know is that either you are functioning effectively or you are not. We look at what happened in the past. We say, look, how is this? How did it work? What went wrong? Why should we be doing the same thing over and over again? If we want to make progress in this country, very clear. We must focus on education and on economically. We must diversify other minerals and agriculture.
But we also do know that...
And by the way, the former administration did very well in agriculture, which is why our GDP went above South Africa for the first time.
Speaking about
now,
education,
I don't see any focus now on agriculture.
That's your survey, your forte, education. Not just the last administration, but over the years. Okay, let's say 16 years of last dispensation, or democratic dispensation, before this one, this tenure comes in. Is this something to write him about?
Not enough has been done on education. Not enough has been done on education. And we never have money to do what we need to do because we spend all our money paying for the National Assembly. And also everything is on recurrent expenditure instead of capital expenditure. These are key things we must change. Look, if this government is going to make changes, we will see critical things that will be, everybody would know.
But you already know they are trying to collapse some of the ministries, agencies, and parastatals. Yeah. You're aware of that?
Sure.
So it's a right one.
Sure, let's see how that goes. But you cannot do one thing and not do other things. You see, look.
But you do them one by one.
No. You don't do them one by one. You do them simultaneously. You cannot be one-dimensional.
What simultaneous things would you love to see? Because first, he said he's working to streamline some of these agencies, ministries, and parastatals. It's understandable now that we're getting to see that some of the ministries, will collapse and merge. And, some of these ministers will not come from every place the way we would want to have Minister of State for.
Sure. I don't know. I never agreed with that idea of Minister of State. It's just waste of money.
Beautiful. So what else would you love to see with the ministerial list side by side?
Well, the key thing is, again, integrity. Not just name. Not just give people appointment because they're your friends or they come from your look, this president is supposed to be forward-looking. I haven't seen anybody from the PDP recommended for anything.
Okay.
Are we not the same country?
Oh, yeah,
What is the point?
We'll pick on that point in just a moment. You also, as your party, has not been invited into the thick of things. I didn't quite get that.
No, what I'm saying is that the ministerial list is so inward-looking and so parochial. We don't see any new people. We don't see any new ideas. For instance, if there was somebody, it's not impossible, who is not a member of the party, of the APC, we don't see them invited. We don't see people who have no party affiliation. We don't see people from the diaspora. Look, we have people all over the world who have excelled in both the private sector and the public sector. We don't see anything new. That's what I'm saying.
You know, there are a couple of new names there. You have Dr. Samson Ehanire, a medical doctor. You have Bayo Shitu, who's also from Ogun State, or your state, I meant to say. That's new names. You have some new names.
Two new names, right?
No, on the top of my head, I just can remember two names.
Okay.
New entrants. So,
okay. Look, let's see how this will pan out. At the end of it, let's see who will get through and those who will not get through.
It's important for us to wait and see
yes,
who gets through.
Because all of this talk about police profiling is done all the time. President is sending people to profile. Of course, they have to do that. Even if you are running for governor, any position, you go for police profiling, okay? So naturally, they're going to go for that. They're going to send in their assets. They're going to declare their assets. The key thing is, are these assets just a fabrication, declaration, or real? So, well, right. let's see how it will go.
About the economy,
yes.
In conclusion, which you talked about, that it's not in the best of shape, it's dwindling, and the president is implementing the budget that President Jonathan's administration put together.
Look, the budget.
Everything is predicated on the budget.
Implementation of the budget is not what determines the economy. That is just functionality. What determines progress in the economy are policies and ideological direction. What are you doing in terms of this or that? For instance, if the world economy indicators see that we are focusing on new minerals and agriculture, our economical evaluation
on that differently from the way it had been outlined in the budget. You can't spend funds that have not been budgeted for. That would be wrong. Is that what you're suggesting it do?
Look,
it does?
You can send indications in your own view, in your government. This is going to be your emphasis.
Okay.
This is the direction you want to go. We are not getting that from this administration.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce is a senior lecturer, Department of English, University of Lagos, and also a member of the PDP.